Hey, this is Dr. Firnhaber. It's Wednesday and it's time for 10 Minutes of Truth. Today, we're going to be covering an article out of a journal called Nutrients, which was published June of this year, so it's very recent. And what this article discusses and what it shows is research on the amount of omega-3 fatty acids, specifically DHA, and its relationship to Alzheimer's. Now, the name of this article is called Red Blood Cell DHA is inversely associated with risk of incident Alzheimer's disease and all-cause dementia. Now, there were about 1,500 dementia-free patients that were followed for anywhere from 7 to 14 years. And the bottom line on this article is they found that people with the most DHA or omega-3 fatty acids in their blood, as measured by whole blood cell analysis, people that had the most in their blood had the lowest amount of Alzheimer's. And what this means is that if you eat a lot of like fish that is high in omega-3 fatty acids, and you build that up in your blood, the chances of Alzheimer's goes way down. Now, how far down did it go? Well, if you took the lowest amount of DHA in people and the highest amount, so they divided it into 5 quintiles, 5 different subgroups. The lowest DHA represented less than 3.8% of the fat in the blood, and the highest was greater than 6.1. So if you came in with and you were in the lowest quintile, you increased it to the highest quintile, your years of life, your years of being free of Alzheimer's disease was about 4.7 years. So you had 4.7 years more of without Alzheimer's disease. What they also found out is that participants at the top quintile of RBC DHA had roughly half the risk of developing Alzheimer's during the follow-up compared to the bottom quintile. Now, what that meant is that if your red blood cell levels are above 6.1%, you have about half the risk of developing Alzheimer's. That's pretty good. Now, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I did a talk on Tuesday night on Alzheimer's, and I talked about some of the other research that's been done on omega-3 fatty acids in Alzheimer's. And that research, which was done several years before this article came out, showed that even then an increase in omega-3 fatty acids would decrease your risk for Alzheimer's. Well, this study just absolutely proves it, and it quantifies it. Now, one other thing that you need to know is that the people in this study that had the genetic predisposition for Alzheimer's, which is a gene called the APOE epsilon 4. If you have that gene, which makes you at a higher risk for Alzheimer's, then taking omega-3 fatty acids made even more difference. So if you have the gene for Alzheimer's, you need to be taking omega-3 fatty acid. If you don't have the gene, you still need to take it, but it made an even bigger difference for those who are genetically predisposed to Alzheimer's. So the moral of the story here, the point of this article is this. Number one, it'd be very good for everybody to have their red blood cell DHA and EPA checked, just to see where you're at. If it's low, you'd be very, very good to increase that as much as possible, because that will decrease your chances for Alzheimer's. Now, the red blood cell test is very simple. We just draw some blood. It's a fasting blood test. We just draw a tube of blood. It takes about 3 weeks to get the test back, and then you can find out where you're at. as far as Alzheimer's go. So, or the risk of developing Alzheimer's. So that's all I have for you today. I hope that you will take this to heart, increase the amount of foods that you're eating that have good, healthy omega-3 fatty acids in it, and take a supplement. You know, we have a good one here, tuna omega-3 fatty acids, but there's some other good ones out there. So we recommend you getting that percentage of your omega-3 fatty acids up so you can decrease your chances for Alzheimer's. Okay, that's all I have for today, and I will see you next week for 10 Minutes of Truth.